All right, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having a great Friday. It's Casual Friday here over at the bin. I'm in sweatpants and PJs. I just fed the kid a kiwi, the whole thing, because she's a monster.
A whole key, including the skin?
Yeah, she loves the skin most. It's her favorite part. That laugh you hear is none other than Tim Bristol. Hello, Tim.
Hi.
We just we were we were gonna go live and like do the whole like what will happen, what's gonna happen, but we missed it.
Yeah, as we were setting up, they're like, "Oh, two people switched their votes. Fuck us, I guess."
Yeah, so much for us having some live coverage. um and in our defense, they went 15 rounds last time. I didn't
Yeah,
expect
we
them to
thought we
be.
thought we thought that was just a preliminary, like,
Yeah.
we get this vote out of the way,
Hmm.
go on to the next one. They
Hmm.
played with the rules a little bit, though. They were like, "We're not closing the vote officially yet, till we can maybe get some people to switch."
who who pray tell are the people who switched? Who are the traitors?
So, so what happened is that two Republican congressmen, Keith Self from Texas
Good old Keith.
and Ralph Norman from South Carolina, voted against Speaker Johnson. And another person who I don't know who it is, but they didn't vote for anyone. They just abstained.
And what?
And
Who abstains?
it
Like, we all see
was a
you
it was a
abstain.
it was a protest non-vote. Um,
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah, they apparently they went into like a coat room or something with Speaker Johnson, and he was like, "Hey guys, if you vote for me for speaker, I'll love you long time."
Yeah, like I don't know what do you do? What can Mike Johnson say to people to get them to switch over? Cause I'm not switching. Like I don't.
Committee,
If I don't like him and I want him gone,
yeah,
I'm not switching.
committee assignments. I'm sure committee assignments
Mm.
and promises to like put bills forward.
Yeah, Emmer, Jim Jordan,
Yeah, that
not
will.
Jim Jordan.
Yeah, that was one of the. You remember Jim Jordan from last time around? They all like were like, "Oh, maybe Jim Jordan can be speaker," and then he sucks as a human being.
Yeah, no one trusts Jim Jordan with keys, small children, lighters. No, you're not gonna be speaker, dude. We don't trust you with a bic. So there's no chance. This is not gonna happen.
And it was it Byron Daniels was the other guy that
Martin
they tried
Daniels.
to put forward as speaker last time around. It's all it's all not great for the Republicans. This is a mess, even though they cleaned it up at the end.
Well, they we warned y'all
Well,
that this ain't gonna
last time it
work.
was like a 5 vote
Yeah.
threshold they had, and this time they have a slimmer. It's only 3.
If they were smart, they would let Hakeem Jeffries be the Speaker of the House, just so they could blame him when things go bad.
Yeah,
If they were
because
smart,
Johnson's gonna get all the blame for whenever his caucus can't get their shit together.
which is absolutely going to happen. There is going to be standstills left, right, and center. I would have put the Democrats up there.
Yeah,
I'm like, go ahead, Hakeem.
think about this. I mean, there's no more Matt Gaetz. He's gone.
Oh yeah, he resigned his seat because he knew he was getting in.
But think about this. Lauren Boebert,
Okay.
Magic the Gathering.
Oh wait.
I think it's a really major
Oh, you can't hear
mistake
it.
and
Hold
an
on.
insult
Oh,
to me.
no, I can't hear it.
Where's my thing? Where's my stuff? Stuff and things. Oh, that's Tim again. Ah,
That's more me. We don't need more me.
too much Tim. Overloading on the Tim. There we go.
I don't need that much me.
What the hell? This is the same screen. There we go.
I think it's a really major mistake and an insult to me.
When you think about this, you get Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and another like a Jim Jordan type. Those 3 people can hold up the
the
entire
whole
Republican agenda.
thing
Yeah,
for 4 or I don't know when they're due up. I don't know if they all have.
every 2 years. So for the next 2 years, it's just and Trump picked a couple of Republicans from the House of Representatives to be in his cabinet.
Which
so they're
was-
losing.
Hey, that was smart, Tim. How don't you dare. Don't you dare try to say that that was not a tactical maneuver. It's a great idea to risk your majority to put people in your cabinet.
So they're losing 3 members until the spring. Like these people are going to get seated now, but as soon as Trump is inaugurated and he has an administration, they're going to go into his administration. Hopefully they'll get, you know, I don't know if they're voted positions or whatever, but
Oh, like
Those- yeah,
not
they have to
approved.
get it. Yeah. Those 3 people are gone. So that means that the Republicans are actually going to be in the minority.
Oh, so once they get sworn in, 3 people are walking out.
Yeah. And then there has to be re-election in those districts. Like, think of it. It might be more. It might be 4 actually, because Gates is gone. There has to be
That's
a special
right.
election in his district, and then 3 other people are going.
Question for Gates, since he resigned so close to, I don't know when his race is up or whatever, but doesn't DeSantis get to just select?
It depends on the state.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It depends on what the states have in their constitutions for like appointing members or special elections. I think in Florida's case, it's a special election that it has to happen, and it's not going to happen until the spring, probably March. So they're going to be in a real bad way for Trump's first 100 days, which is supposed to be like the peak of your presidential powers, is the first
Yeah.
100 days.
Ugh.
So they're not going to get anything done. They have to pass a budget in that 100-day period,
I
or at
don't,
least
I don't see
attempt
that. I don't see that happening.
because the continuing resolution they made was only until like March, I think. So they're fucked. They're so fucked.
So it says here, Reps Keith Self, Republican of Texas, Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina, who each voted for other Republicans early in the voting process, just changed their votes back to Johnson. The switch likely gives Johnson the votes to become Speaker. Did you hear? I was feeding the baby and brushing the lint and Cheerios out of her hair. Who did they vote for? Themselves or each other?
No,
or?
one of them voted for Jim Jordan, and the other one voted for Byron Daniels.
Donald's
Yes, Donald's.
or Donald Byron Donald. Let me go up. What is it? What is your name, sir? Your name
It's
is
Donald's.
Donald's.
Yeah.
Donald's is. So y'all vote. So one voted for Jordan and one voted for Donald's is.
Yeah.
Come on,
And,
y'all Republicans, take your damn party back, man. Y'all are weak out here. They are vulnerable. This is your chance to get rid of MAGA once and for all, and you blew it. You could have just got rid of Mike. And then
Yeah.
just slowly work with Democrats to dismantle the monster that has taken over your party. But you didn't do it. You
There's-
are a...
Kicking bleep mother froggers.
You got to stand up to them, man. You can't back down to bullies. You eat
There-
bullies.
There was a very brief conversation in the news about, well, if Johnson's not the speaker, then who is it? And they're all like, nobody else wants to do that job.
I'll do it.
No other Republican wants to be speaker because they know that they're just going to get the shit kicked out of them
Every day.
every day.
The whole time. From
Or-
both from 3 sides, from Republicans, MAGA, and the Democrats.
You're going to have President Elon telling you what to do.
Yeah, President Elon is not going to be happy that you guys took so long to get in his speaker.
Boy, I can't wait until Elon finds out how slow government is.
He's going to lose his mind.
He is.
What if he just leaves?
I mean, he could. He's not any appointed position.
Yeah, he
He's
didn't-
just there.
no one voted for him or anything, so he could just.
No.
This is too. You know what? This is kind of corny.
I'm just going to leave.
This is very L7 square, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is not cool.
I imagine he'll get bored of it. Like, he'll be like, I just want to go play with my rocket chips.
But I think the only thing keeping him focused on Washington D.C. as a whole is he just wants to deregulate everything and then like give himself 1 million more contracts.
Yeah.
Because those government contracts are really keeping the lights on over there. So now he's
Yeah.
like in charge of who is in charge of giving him money. There's no way that this will end badly.
Right? And I imagine Trump will be incredibly frustrated that he now is just going to have an agenda that goes nowhere.
It's not even like some of it won't get through. I don't know if anything's going to get done.
Nah, I don't think that anything the Republicans try, there's
Yeah.
going to be 3 people who can, like, you're making 3 people at any vote the most powerful people in Congress because
Exactly.
the majority is so slim. And then if you want the Democrats to help you out, you're going to have to give the Democrats something.
And they don't even want anything crazy. It's not like they're like, and now all of the transgendered prisoner, like no one even said anything about like that's not what all this is about. It's like, can you I don't know if you saw overnight, what's his face? The FBI guy, I forget his name. Forget his name now. Trump's pick for the FBI.
Oh, what's his name?
I keep wanting to say Sadiq Khan, but that's just like the wrong person and probably like
No.
internally racist somehow. I'm sorry.
Is his last name Cash?
Oh yeah, Kash Patel.
Cash Patel.
Good
First
old,
name is Cash.
good old Kash Patel. He's like, yeah. The problem with the FBI over there is that they just like run around doing a bunch of nothing. First of fucking day one, I'm gonna fucking take this building and put it out of commission. We're just not using it anymore. Those people can just. That's the people who look up domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
We had 2 domestic terrorist attacks on day 1 of 2025. Day 1, we had 2 domestic terror attacks. And you want to get rid of the people who research and track down and prevent these things.
I hear a lot of explosions in the background.
Explosions?
Yeah. Like video game noises.
You shouldn't be able to hear them.
Oh. Well, for a few moments there I heard them.
Let's see if it comes through. I can't hear them.
Oh,
I
heard
muted
'em.
it.
Sounded like you were playing Call of Duty.
No, I'm not playing that. I'm playing something else.
Okay.
But thank you, Kash Patel, for shutting down the FBI for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's not a good sign that the Republicans in the House can't keep it together to elect their speaker. And I guarantee you that there's going to be like a small, like little group of people, maybe 5 or 6, who are going to be like, we can hold all the power. We can hold the speaker hostage whenever we want
Why not?
over anything.
Always. Like Gates fucking got McCarthy out of there with 1 vote.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's not going to be a rule again. They reset all the rules every 2 years. So,
What? You don't
But,
think they'll keep that?
nah, I think they'll get rid of that. Unless that was a condition of those 2 guys voting for him.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah,
that could
I want to
be-
know what that deal was.
Yeah.
I need to know what that deal was. What did you promise them?
Right.
And also, I think that it should be public what is promised to them.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't be able to go into like a little, the smoking cage and go out there with a Marlboro light and like, look, Byron, I need this. It's been hard. It's been hard being MAGA Mike out here.
Mega Mike.
You know-
What-
No
both
one
of those-
respects me.
Both of those guys are probably like, I want to be chair of this committee. If you make me chair of this committee,
Yeah.
then I'll vote for you as speaker. That's probably what happened.
And the speaker gets to decide that.
Yeah, the speaker has ultimate authority over seating people in committees.
That sounds like it's not going to go,
Yeah,
rapidly
committees,
bad quickly.
They're in charge of all the committees except for the ethics committee. The ethics committee is decided differently.
I think they want to get rid of the ethics committee.
Well, that would be bad.
Conveniently enough.
That's the only committee that would be chaired by Democrats.
Well, that's why they want to get rid of it, Tim. Don't you see?
Yeah. Well, after the whole Matt Gaetz thing, they don't want any more of that stuff.
Well, Matt Gaetz didn't do anything wrong except for all the wrong he did. And
What do they got?
it's not uncommon for that kind of shit to happen in Congress. It's just uncommon for the Republicans to turn on them. Like, we always find out about this shit post hoc. You know, it's always after the fact, after they're out, and then we find out that, oh, he had a whole basement full of lolly porn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we always find out after.
He
we
was
found
at all
out.
He was at all of Diddy's parties.
Yeah, this dude was the fucking baby oil specialist for Diddy. And then now we're not supposed to like, oh, well, you know, they're in office. We should wait. It's disrespectful to the voter. Like, no, the voters want to know what kind of bullshit you're up to. The average voter voted for fucking Trump.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I am fully aware that I am no longer in the majority of logical thinking people. It's gone. It's just gone. That's fine, but if that's the case, can we just like expose predators now as opposed to later? Like,
Yeah.
Can we get that from the Republicans? Can we expose predators? Please.
I was talking with some friends on New Year's about that, about how like we're in the minority of just
Everything.
thought
Yeah.
in America at this point. Like I was watching the speaker vote on YouTube, and the live chat section of the YouTube channel was insane.
Dude, that's all bots. Don't take that too. That's 88.5% bots.
Well, a lot of the conversation was like, "Oh, Speaker Johnson will save us because God wants him to," and all that stuff. 'Cause Johnson is a very religious guy.
Oh yeah.
Too religious, some might say. And
Especially to look like a Keebler elf.
oh yeah, and like all of this around like Trump and his whole campaign and the Republicans at this point is so like evangelical Christian nationalism.
You know,
That
Tim, I was warned in the early aughts that Al Qaeda was coming, and Al Qaeda, and then ISIS. Al Qaeda's is coming. But they told me that Al Qaeda was going to come, and they were going to blow everything up, and then they were going to institute Sharia law. And then for people who are young, Sharia law is like a totally archaic, like from the 400s rule system that some places sometimes practice sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not an all Muslims thing. It's just like this weird, very backwards minded pre-Bronze Age bullshit that some people choose to live their lives by, or some people are forced to live by. But they were convinced that all the Muslims were going to institute that here. No one told us about Al-Qaeda, which is all these little bigots and their fucking bullshit, where they just make things up 24/7 and they just want to fight everybody. Like, we didn't know that was going to be part of it, or deporting all the brown people. That's Al-Qaeda.
Yeah. That's
Walmart law.
yeah. I remember when they passed all those like religious freedom laws, like, oh, you can't have Sharia law in our town or our state or whatever. But it's all about like we just want to be Christian nationalists. That's all we want.
That's what they're looking for.
That's what they're looking for.
That's what they would enjoy. But we're not up for, I mean, I don't know if people are aware of this, but theocracies are kind of on the decline. Like, theocracies aren't going up. They're going down. Like, no one wants to do what you guys are talking about. Nobody wants to just be like, oh, let's go to church and then pay Trump money for shoes. Like, no one wants to do that, dude. I'd rather keep my money and tell him to go fucking sell his shoes, which aren't made in America, by the way. And his hats that aren't made in America, by the way.
They're all made in China. They're all Chinese sweatshop shoes and hats and guitars. And did you see the guitar he was trying to sell?
No. Do I need to look it up? I don't want to look it up.
You should
Is it
look
bad?
It up.
Is it bad?
It's bad.
Why does he have to touch guitars? He
Here's
doesn't
how
play
bad
any fucking instruments.
Here's how bad it is. It doesn't have pickups. It has something else.
Stop it.
That's what it says there.
Oh, I think I saw this on the Shody.
Yeah.
Oh, he did do something. Oh, it's got like Trump buckers or something.
Trump buckers. Yeah.
Oh my God, Trump buckers. What is that? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
But there's also the Trump America's
Hey, look at the
Bible or
trees.
whatever. You
Yeah,
know.
the Bible, the watches, the NFTs that he released pictures of. hilariously.
Yeah, and then he continued to do that.
He doesn't know how it works, but y'all knew that.
He's got his own. He's got his own coin.
Yeah, the Trump coin. Like, and what happened to the emoluments clause?
Oh, we did away with that.
Yeah,
It
you know,
doesn't
it's just
actually
very
mean anything.
casually just ignored the fuck out of the fucking like in the emoluments. What is that for the uninitiated? Tim is I don't want to get the definition wrong.
So the emoluments clause means that a president cannot make himself personally wealthy from being president through like outside business ventures. Like, for example, if you were president of the United States, theoretically,
Theoretically,
and you owned a hotel in Washington, D.C., theoretically,
like a Trump hotel, maybe.
like maybe a
theoretically.
Trump hotel, and foreign nationals and dignitaries and diplomats would get rooms in your hotel
Right.
to curry favor with you, theoretically.
No, they need somewhere to stay.
Yeah, they need somewhere to stay.
Affordable housing, Tim. That's my first 100 days. Affordable housing for all the diplomats.
Or perhaps if you were president of the United States and you owned a golf club, let's say theoretically in Florida, and
Maybe
you wanted,
Mar-a-Lago.
yeah, maybe Mar-a-Lago, and members wanted to get access to you, they would, pay special amounts of money and stay at Mar-a-Lago and have dinner with the president, and all the while, the Secret Service is paying out the ass to stay at Mar-a-Lago.
No, Tim, he needs Secret Service protection. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to be protected all the time. That's why he goes to Florida away from the White House, which is very protected already. He needs to not be by the White House so he can be less protected so that he can get more protection.
Or let's say you were president of the United States and now theoretically you didn't divest from any of your business holdings
Oh, right.
while you were president of the United States. So you made money through your business holdings while president of the United States.
Well, Tim, that would be wrong.
That would be wrong. But
Trump would never do that.
that's what the emoluments clause does. It allows you to make yourself personally wealthy while being president of the United States.
What a strange example you decided to bring up. That was completely out of the blue. Written. These hypotheticals, they almost feel like they're attached to reality, but not quite. It's just I don't know. I just don't understand how the people who chanted "Drain the Swamp" didn't see this dude literally enriching himself every weekend as a problem. Like, dude, Obama golfed like what 200 or 150 days or something in his presidency in 8 years. Trump beat that in the first like month and a half. Like he lived at the golf course.
Yeah, he spent literally an entire year of his presidency at a golf course. Just once every 4 days. I mean, he called Mar-a-Lago the Southern White House because he'd fly down there every weekend and just play golf.
Which, I mean, golf is fun, but if I was the president,
Golf ain't that fun.
I mean, if I was the president, I would probably like, put it on the back burner. Like, yo, once I get out of here, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go back to golfing. I used to love golfing. That's what I would say. But he was like, fuck it. Tell the president of Egypt that if he wants to give me gold bars, he can meet me out there on the 14th green. Like,
yeah, tell Xi Jinping that if he wants to fucking hang out, we'll do it down at Mar-a-Lago.
Our meeting is held at the Mar-a-Lago Conference Center.
Oh, here's another example of a possible emoluments clause violation that a theoretical president would do.
Right.
What if you had the G7 conference?
That's just wacky.
At your personal golf course.
That's just wacky.
I'm glad someone talked him out of that at some point because he was like, oh, yeah, we're going to have the G7 or the G8 at Mar-a-Lago. And they're like, Mr. President.
That's a bad idea.
That's a little too far.
That's going to be real hard for us to sell. It's going to be hard to spin that, sir.
Oh, man.
Look at the tree. Said Elon is running on ketamine and dumb. Let me get you this real quick. Facts. And that's the other thing. Half of the fucking Trump cabinet can't pass a fucking drug test.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like weed's legal some places. Not them kind of drugs. The other kind of drugs. The big boy drugs. The expensive drugs.
The drugs that keep Don Jr. alive.
And Matt Gates.
and Matt Gates.
How do you think he
Boy.
stays looking like Beetlejuice year after year after year after year?
That dude did so many drugs apparently, all the time on the House floor, I guess.
And I want, if you're out there and you're thinking of running for office, I want you to remember Matt Gates exists.
Yeah,
So go for
He-
it.
yeah, he was. I mean, he got elected in Florida, which is whatever. It's Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Gates, it did exist. He does exist.
He ran and run. He ran and won and was gonna be the Attorney General of the fucking U.S.
Until everyone was like, wait, Matt Gates?
But this was already in the works, though. Like, how did Trump not know that they were already investigating him? They were already looking into his behavior. His friend already got arrested and put in jail. The girls already testified, and he's like, "No, Matt's great. Get him up here."
Because those cabinet positions are for loyalists, and Matt Gates is like a top loyalist.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that Ted Cruz didn't get some sort of cabinet position. Trump must really hate him.
Well, have you seen the
Because-
guy?
But like Marco Rubio is going to be Secretary of State, and Marco Rubio's not a likable person.
Do
He's
you-
more likable than Ted Cruz, I suppose.
Do you think that there's gonna be like a let's put that up there. Do you think that there's gonna be a not a scuttling of the ship, but some of these people who Trump's not been so, generous to, not been so kind to. Now Trump is, yeah, come on, I want you on board, Marco. Come on over.
Yeah.
Does Marco just say, yeah, let me in? Yes.
I think Marco Rubio is a sycophant at this point, and he'll do anything that Trump asks him to do because Trump's going to give him relative power.
Who,
Uh,
who do you think would be first to either A, stage a mutiny, or B, gum up the works?
Elon.
No, well, he's not in the cabinet, really.
Oh, you mean like a cabinet position?
Yeah, like, who do you think, of those Republicans that he's, insulted 50, 60,000 times? Like Ted
here's-
Cruz. Like, Ted Cruz probably didn't get in because I think Ted Cruz, once he got behind the levers of power, would be like, call my wife ugly, you bitch!
I think probably Marco, but not because he would like stage a mutiny. He'd actually try to run the State Department, and like Trump wouldn't want that to happen. Like Marco would be like, "Listen, I'm just trying to do my job."
Little Marco reporting for duty. Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah, like he'll be like, "Listen, you wanted me to be the Secretary of State. Well, I got to go and do all these things." And Trump's like, "No, you'll do what I say." And Marco's like, "But someone has to do this." Like, I think Marco would get frustrated at the level of
Ooh.
insanity.
Let's make some
Trump
predictions.
would
We're
bring.
recording. Let's make some predictions. Who do you think's gonna leave?
Who do I think's gonna leave?
I think Marco will leave after a year.
I
a year of this
honestly
shit?
think, yeah, there'll be like 50% turnover of all these people. Like, I don't think Kash Patel's going to be long for the job.
I think he'll get bounced.
Yeah. I think Marco will do a decent job at being Secretary of State, but Trump won't like that. I think Pete Hegseth, if he's defense secretary, will get washed out in like a year. I think
That guy's problematic on so many levels.
Yeah, I think that if he's not drinking now, he'll be drinking in a couple of months.
Yeah. Who says,
And-
here, give me the stressful job, then I'll quit drinking?
Yeah, let me run the most complex bureaucracy in the history of the world, and I'll stop drinking for a few days.
Planet Earth.
Be fine. Yeah.
On planet Earth. Worst job ever. I don't need that.
Let me run the best funded military in the entire world,
In the history of the world.
in the history of the world, the most money ever
Yeah.
for a department in a government.
Did you
It'll be fun.
I think Robert Reich put it out. 12 Americans earned, what was it? 3 trillion? Or almost a trillion? I gotta look. I gotta find it now.
Wow.
But yeah, like it's bananas. See if I can find it.
Ooh, Tulsi Gabbard, she won't make it.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know.
I don't even know if she'll make it to her position. I think the Senate will vote her down. She is very problematic for.
Many
She's
reasons.
supposed to be the head of the national security infrastructure. Like, I don't think that's a good idea.
She's a friggin' spy, dude. She's just a spy. We all know she's a spy. We were just like wondering why you guys were being so nice to the spy.
RFK might make it. I think RFK might make it.
Yeah, he's got
Unless,
a lot
like-
of people convinced, which is
Unless
scary.
Trump gets in his way about stuff. Like, I think if Trump like turns on him, he'll be like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Right. Well, I mean, the Democrats wouldn't give him what he wanted. So, Zero.
You tell him, Zero.
You know, the Democrats wouldn't give him what he wanted, which was like, I'll give you this 5%, but then you got to let me like poison all the kids.
Right. Yeah.
Just let me poison the kids and you'll win the election. So I guess that's one thing that the Democrats did good over that last election. They didn't fucking bow to fucking RFK, because that would have been very problematic.
Yeah.
Very problematic. But
I don't know. I think like much like Trump's last administration, there will be a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
Do you remember who was like Secretary of the State in the beginning? It was some oil tycoon. I think his name was like Rex Tillerson or something like that.
old Rexy Poo.
Like, he didn't make it.
Because y'all are racist.
They had fucking. Boy, who was Trump's? Here's a quiz. Who's Trump's first attorney general?
Matt Gaetz. No. Was it Bill Barr?
It was not Bill Barr. Bill Barr was number 2 or 3.
Oh, shit. I don't
What was
remember.
It was Jeff Sessions. That's who the
Yes.
first. It was Jeff Sessions.
Yes.
That dude got so fed up with Trump
In his
He
bullshit.
quit so quickly. Because that's right. He recused himself from the Russia investigation because
Yes.
he was the attorney general and he shouldn't be meddling in it, and he knew that. And Trump was like, "If you recuse yourself, I'm gonna fire you." And Sessions was like, "Well, I just quit then. I don't know what you want from me."
That's so wild. And then the Republicans just let it happen.
Yeah.
And Jeff Sessions isn't like, that wasn't his first term in office. You know, that wasn't his first trip to D.C. He's been around for a while.
Yeah. There were so many people that were like handpicked to be in his administration the first time around that were actual like government
Yeah.
types. And,
And
they all
those-
just washed out at the end.
And that was kind of what preserved the nation as it was the fact that there were so many guardrails in place and so many establishment people there to stop him. Like, sir, it's constitutionally not a thing to just ban people from Muslim countries, so we're just gonna slow that down. You're gonna get sued. Yeah, I don't care. Let him sue me. Like, it's just so dumb, dude.
Yeah.
But we gotta
And,
feed people, you know. We got wars to fight and protect ourselves from. Things are not calming down anywhere anytime soon.
Those guys are gonna find out real quick. They don't have any. They were lied to
Yeah,
the whole time.
it was a scam, yo.
Like, and it's not even like regular. Oh, the candidate was lying about the things he's
Right.
promising and all that. Trump said the most extreme things he could think of
Yes,
to get people to vote for him,
yes,
and now none of it's gonna happen.
yes. Now, why do
He-
you think that's lying?
Well, you see, a lie is defined as
Webster's Merriam Dictionary states. That's how I started every essay. 'Cause I
Under
didn't
the
respect
third-
my teachers.
under the third definition of liar. You'll see a picture of President Trump,
President-elect
Oh,
Trump, President
yeah.
Elon Musk,
former and future President Donald Trump.
former First Lady, or First Lady-elect Donald Trump.
And what does Melania think of all this? She
No.
really hated being first lady the first time around.
Well, she wrote a book about hating her husband, but it's okay because he didn't read it.
She wrote a book about it.
She wrote a book about all of her like DC shit, I think, and like being the first lady.
Might have
You know.
to read it.
A money grab.
Yeah.
A book that she has probably little or nothing to do with. I'm not saying that the lady can't read or write. Definitely she can. She just can't read or write very well because when that marriage license said Donald Trump on the other frickin' end and she said, all right, that was a mistake. That was a problem. You should not have done that. That was the wrong answer.
Oh yeah, she did write a book.
Like,
It's-
I think during the campaign, somebody, I think it was like Fox and Friends or somebody, was like, oh, so what'd you think about Melania's book? I hear it's, flying off the shelves. They're doing like that whole frabba jabba shit. And he was like, yeah, you haven't actually had time to. I was like, oh, dude. She
You
wrote
didn't
the
even read
book.
your wife's
Dude, she
book?
wrote the book Living With You. And she didn't just like, hey, you want to check out this draft real quick? He was just
New
like,
York
no, I
Times.
haven't read it. I've been very busy.
New York Times bestseller. The cover is just black and it says Melania on it.
Yeah. Her favorite
She's-
kind of people. Blacks.
She's so like Eastern European and like dour
very-
about everything.
It's very Balkan, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's very Balkan. Yeah, it's very like. You remember the year that like she did Christmas decorations?
Oh,
and it was all
yeah.
just like red Christmas trees and no background and
It was just
she's
like,
like-
no, it wasn't trees, Tim. It was like pyramids. It was like
Yes.
triangles. It was like red. It was like a blank white wall and like these like gothic red triangles stacked, and there was like
Yeah,
a row
yeah.
of them, and it looked like it looked like Tim Burton had done that
Yeah.
shit, which
It
is
was like-
cool, but not the thing.
it seemed very in Soviet Russia. This is how we do Christmas.
PC in the chat says, "Oh, PC, one time for PC." Damn it, Mike Johnson, where the hell is your accountability partner?
His son.
So,
Uh,
are we all gonna have to get accountability partners now?
I mean, how far are we going down the like Handmaid's Tale rabbit hole? I guess.
Because I'm just letting everybody know my search history is for me only.
My
There's
search history is not great for other people to view.
it's not, there's so much context that I'd have to explain. Like, like I'd have to explain so much.
I mean, yeah, you could just be like, "Oh, well, that's porn." Obviously, that's porn.
Right.
But-
I have a lot of other shit. It's like, why do you care about this? Like, why are you reading this?
Yeah, my search history, not great. Not great to have to explain to other people.
Yeah. Like, it took me a while to understand that, like, my pod mates can see my algorithm from YouTube.
Oh yes.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you watch a lot of fucking. I was like, yeah. Don't you guys watch the carpet cleaning videos?
Yeah,
Mhm.
mine would be a whole lot of like, "Wow, you watch a lot of videos about anime."
Right.
Boy.
Sure love your anime over there. God damn.
And why have you Google searched Katie Britt so many times?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, for the shows, we have to look up some pretty obscure random shit sometimes, which is
If
not always
someone-
easily explained.
If someone went through the last like month of my search history,
Oh,
they'd
yeah,
be
it's
like,
bad.
why did you what is with this ranked choice voting thing you're looking up? Why did you search it so many times?
Because we need it. Because it's necessary.
And then my recent search history has some Joe Rogan in it. That's not great.
PC,
yeah.
PC says my search history is ridiculous because of all the crap I have to look up for those ignorant people out there. Yeah, see, you have to just.
Yeah,
Maybe we should be using incognito windows, as if that does anything.
maybe. Yeah, no, Google knows what you do regardless. And incognito is only for third parties to not see what you're doing, but Google knows.
But Google remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Back in my day,
All orange groves.
this used to be all orange groves, far as the eye can see.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Well-
they got Johnson up there giving a speech now about how he just barely became House Speaker.
Oh, should we pull it up? Let me, I'm actually running from dinosaurs right now. Because I'm trying to get my speed runs in So I can do that part of my little content web.
Tons. There is less cheese in my search history, but there's still cheese there.
I mean, at this point, what can you tell Tim about cheese that he don't already know?
That's true.
He knows it. He's a cheese lord. Underlord. Underlord.
Fun fact, the partner on my food truck was like, why don't we just make our own cheese? And so I had to look that up, and it is not easy. You need a special room. You need like a
room?
specially humidified room to like make
Let's
cheese.
talk about a video of a young girl named Daisy that is going viral on the internet.
There we go.
Of her participating
Why
in
is
a
this short
Balinese
playing
dance
still?
known as legong.
I don't know.
It wouldn't go away. All right. Oh, maybe that's what you heard earlier. It's like still playing some of the stuff that's interesting. All right, let me go to my history. Go back to C-SPAN.
C-SPAN. There's a lot of C-SPAN in my search history as well.
Well, we pay for it, damn it.
Almighty God, who has given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech thee
What
that
the
we may
fuck?
always prove ourselves a people mindful
Handmaid's
of
Tale.
thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land with honorable ministry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way.
You elected
Defend
Trump.
our liberties and fashion into one united people the multitude brought hither out of many kindreds and tongues. Endow with thy spirit of wisdom those whom in thy name we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that through obedience to thy law we may show forth
What obedience?
thy
To what
praise
law?
among the nations of the earth.
Speaking of
In time of
emoluments
prosperity,
clause.
fill our hearts
Yeah.
with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in thee to fail, of which we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. That was Thomas Jefferson's prayer. Yeah.
Fuck Thomas Jefferson and fuck you.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson was a pastor's son and a plagiarist.
Suffer not our trust in thee to fail. We will not fail. We cannot fail. We are all in this together. Our nation is
Are we?
counting on us
Are we?
to band together and solve these problems and get this done. I've said before that I believe God has elevated each one of you, that's just my belief, to your positions of leadership. And
Ugh,
it's an act of
gross.
providence. That
Marjorie
you've all
Taylor
been
Greene was
placed
elevated
in
by
your
God.
specific roles
Lauren
in this
Boebert was
specific
elevated
moment
by
at
God.
this
What, the
historic
god of
time,
hand jobs?
At the
Like, fuck off.
250-year inflection point of
She
the greatest
felt,
nation
she felt God's light
in the
at
history
that
of the world.
Beetlejuice show.
It is no small thing.
It was the Holy Spirit having her fucking jerk off the guy. You know that guy owned a bar that had drag shows?
The assassin's bullet.
Really?
Remarkable as that was. And to the new coalition of Americans that has risen from every creed, color, and cul-de-sac who want us to put America first. Our people are asking for a thriving
say
economy and a rebuilt middle class and strong borders and a strong military, and we can deliver that. See, these objectives and these aims don't
4
have
years
an
of this
R or
bullshit.
a
Yeah,
D
buckle
behind
up.
them.
Well, actually,
They have
probably
a
not.
USA. That's what we're about.
Sit down. Don't stand up. Sit down.
State reunion? Sit the fuck down.
Sit down.
I think that everybody from cul-de-sac
Just
to
a moment,
creed or
we're all going
color.
to take an oath.
And then they clap for that.
It is the
Shut-
same
sit
one
down.
oath for one nation and under the banner of one great American flag. This is
I
an
thought he was gonna say
opportunity
one
for us
God.
to
I was like,
protect
oh.
our shared American
Yeah.
heritage,
The Jews are
to
going to get
maintain
him.
the conditions needed for self-government, and to
Jesus
defend
is not
what
Messiah.
Hakeem said earlier, the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Except for the
Working
border.
together, we have the
'Cause if you try to
potential
do that
be
through the
one of
border, then you
most
die, right?
Consequential
poor people.
congresses in the history
Well, they're-
of this great nation.
They're not people.
So long as
If you're
we
poor,
work
are you really
together,
people?
We do the right thing and we put America
about it.
first. As we
If
think
you're
about all
poor,
we've
are you
accomplished
a
in the past
person?
250 years, we can only imagine
The
what
answer's
life
yes.
will be like.
He said
250 years
America
from now.
first too many times for my
Whatever the
liking.
future may look like, if we do our jobs now,
Bleak. Looks
we
bleak,
can
Mike.
help ensure that our civic virtues will endure. That this nation will still be an example to all the world for its
I saw
greatness
that, Kev.
and its example of self-government. And that in spite of our great challenges,
I'll say
and
it so
our
you don't have to type
disagreements
it.
and our healthy
He does look like
debates,
he sits down to pee.
this extraordinary institution, the People's House, will still be standing strong. Thank you
Oh,
all
hi, Brett.
so much.
Brett
God
River. I'm
bless
from
America.
Louisiana. Johnson and Senator Bill Cassidy, both rhinos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, conservatism is largely dead. Like, I can't find a conservative anywhere anymore. Like who's a conservative now?
Yeah, there's hardly any of these people who are true
So
conservatives anymore.
as the sequence of
And
events
conservative, not even in like the
requires, I am now ready to take
strictest
the oath of
sense.
office.
In like the
I ask
John
the Dean of the
McCain
House
sense.
of Representatives,
Yeah.
the
There's
Honorable
none.
Harold Rogers of Kentucky,
There's none.
to
There's not even
administer
any
the
conservatives
oath.
in like the George Bush sense anymore. Like there's
Right.
no. How many neocons are left in Congress?
There's no more nuclear conservatives.
Hold just a second, Dean. We don't have the microphone on yet.
Oh, he needs to be in office. Look at him. He's a real winner. Look at him still talking.
It's ancient.
Our shared American self-rule.
From
When our
burning
founding fathers
Teslas to grabbing.
rejected calls for an American king
This land was made
and
for
chose
you
a
and
bold
me.
and innovative government of self-rule, it was met by opposition, understandably, by the world's kings.
The world what?
They said, you can't
He said the
govern
world's
yourself.
kegs.
Kegs.
You need a king to direct the country.
And I am the king.
They said, it's only a dream. So
It was all a dream. I used to
the
read Word
founding
of
fathers said,
magazine.
you're right. It's the American dream.
No, you don't
And
want the
thus,
American
our
dream.
founders
You don't want that.
said
Too many brown
we
people.
should move on our own with our own leadership. The Speaker of the House is the critical protector and promoter of self-rule, the keeper of the dream, if you will. And we've elected this man from Louisiana
This man-child from
to
Louisiana.
carry on
We've elected
our
this
bold experiment.
Man
This,
from
democracy.
Louisiana.
this small
And
Keebler
self-rule.
elf
So, sir,
with a dream.
if you're ready to assume
When
this
he grows up, he
awesome
wants to be a
responsibility,
congressman.
please raise your
When he
right
grows
hand.
up, he wants to be 5 foot.
Do you solemnly swear that
Solemnly
you will support
swear.
and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
He's lying. He's
that
lying.
you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, that you take this obligation without any mental reservation or purpose
Oh,
or
trust me, there's
evasion,
nothing mental going on up there.
and that you will well
Just a
and
bunch of
faithfully
two marbles
discharge the
dancing
duties
around
of
in a
the
fishbowl.
office on which you're about to enter. So help you God.
I do.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
Boo! You suck.
Recount.
Get a haircut.
Recount.
You may as well remain standing because according to precedent, the chair will swear in the members-elect en masse. The members-elect will all rise.
En
The
masse.
chair will now administer the oath of office.
In mass.
And en masse.
Will you raise your right hand?
I'm speaking French. I'm Mike.
Do you solemnly
I'm
swear or
distinguished.
affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
At least
that
half
you
of them
take
are
this
lying.
obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you're about to enter, so help you God.
Where's Marjorie Taylor Greene? She's lying.
Congratulations,
Liar.
you are now members of the 119th Congress.
Congratulations. That's the most doing you're going to be doing for 4 years. Oh, and I kept seeing everybody there with like their grandkids and shit. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
A bring your obscure relative to work day? Like, what the fuck? Why are there so many children up there? I would say those kids
Alright.
need to be in school, but you know, Department of Education, it's not gonna be there anyway. So.
Time for the annual House of Representatives sex party.
Mitch McConnell just starts taking it off real slow.
It's less awkward now that Matt Gaetz isn't there anymore.
Well, there's less drugs now, you know. People are reporting that they can remember more of the orgy now that Matt Gaetz is no longer involved. Strange that.
Look at them
Yikes.
all.
Bunch of winners out there, Tim. Tim, that's the leaders of the strongest country, the most powerful, the richest nation on earth. Look at its leaders and revel.
They're old,
Very old.
very old.
What's the average age of a congressperson? Isn't it like 53 or 61 or something?
Ooh, up. It's up. Like 65 now.
Oh, you know, the sprouts at 65. You know,
The Senate's even older. The average age of the House of Representatives.
who when you're old wants to fucking go to Congress?
It's 60. The average age of a senator is 65.
That's not right. That's retirement age.
Yeah. Congress is too old.
Yeah.
Did you hear that story about the congresswoman who they couldn't find in Texas?
Oh
and she ended
my
up in
God.
a nursing home.
I wanted to do that on a binge show, but we haven't been getting together for a minute. That is ridiculous. And that no one said anything
Yeah.
is crazy, which means they didn't even notice.
Right. They didn't notice for 3 entire weeks.
That's crazy. So what
then-
did she not vote on? Oh, wait, nothing was happening
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, she didn't vote on nothing because she probably missed the vote on the continuing resolution for the budget, but that's it.
Well, it would have been nice to get a budget done, but we can't because someone is roaming the countryside looking for her grandson. Like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, here's a few things this Congress isn't going to be able to do. Pass a real budget. They're going to have to do it through either continuing resolutions or reconciliation, which is the workaround. But
Right.
Congress hasn't worked in regular order in years.
I wonder why. I wonder what changed.
What changed is Republicans and their their unwillingness to work with anyone on anything.
But but they have to get some stuff done, right? Because then they won't get reelected. Or
the
wait.
last like the last 2 or 3 government shutdowns, they were like, yeah, let it shut down. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. Because people need to work and people need services, and that's kind of the whole reason you're there. And then to just say, well, you guys are on your own until I get my way is crazy to me.
It's government by like emergency. Like they don't fund the government unless they're right up against the debt ceiling or the government's about to run out of money.
Right.
Like,
because I mean, if Mike Johnson didn't get selected and then they had to do like rounds and rounds of voting, if we got like attacked by Russia, let's say, Russia drops bombs on Pearl Harbor, or Japan is back, and this time they mean business. This time
Japan
it's
is back,
personal.
and this time they have a Gundam.
Oh, do they have a Gundam in there? Adam Savage from MythBusters got to go visit it. I was like, it's like 2 stories. I was like, oh my God, just imagine.
Yeah. They start mass producing those things.
They could be autonomous.
Yeah, that's game.
Yeah, dude. Somebody comes out with a fucking Gundam suit. Just. All right, let's start talking peace. All right, man. I know we had our differences in the past, but I'm gonna need you to not hit me with the Mac blast from orbit.
Well, that was the whole reason. That was the whole problem with what's his name, who was speaker before, and then he got ousted because
McCarthy.
they couldn't. Yeah, McCarthy. That dude is an establishment Republican all the way.
Yeah.
And he didn't get 15 votes he went through? They went through like an entire week. There was no Speaker of the House. And that's a problem.
Because we couldn't declare war if we needed to.
Right. Because if there's no speaker, what we just saw there, if the speaker's not sworn in, that means Congress is, or at least the House is not sworn in. The Senate's still, sworn in, but they can't declare war on their own.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
And the
You
president
need
can't
both
do
houses.
it.
Yeah.
And the
So,
Supreme Court definitely can't do it. So
nowadays the president can kind of do whatever they want. But
Patriot Act.
yeah. Unitary executive theory. Look it up.
No. I won't.
But yeah. So if we went through another week of having no speaker, first of all, the Republicans would just look like fucking clowns, even more than they look like clowns right now.
The children that they are.
Yeah, the House of Representatives is full of fucking children.
It must be really easy to win some of these seats because I'm like, how the hell did you beat somebody in an election? Like, you debated somebody? Like, what happened here? I need the background information. How did you manage to get elected?
Look, the sex party's happening. They turned off the lights.
Ooh, dimmer switch activated. And this guy's gonna narrate it
Oh yeah,
from the corner of his mouth.
Listen, the C-SPAN cameras are always on.
Damn right. You better be ready.
But yeah,
Smile into
the
the
Republicans are going to spend the next 2 years just looking like idiots. I guarantee there's going to be another threat of a government shutdown. There might even be one.
I'm about to say, I think we're actually gonna get it this time.
Yeah. There's going to be a fight over the debt ceiling. There's going to be a fight over taxes. Because even if something gets out of the House,
Yeah.
most things that they vote on require a 60-vote majority in the Senate. And there are 52 Republicans in the Senate, which means they need to convince 8 Democrats.
Which is not gonna happen.
Which is not going to happen.
No.
Chuck Schumer is not going to play ball.
No. And I mean, I wish they had more gumption when it came to getting Biden in year 2 to say, hey, you're done, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wish they had that same gumption, or like if they said, all right, if you don't want to, step aside, then maybe we'll just leave now.
Right.
Like that's where it needs to be. Like Mike Johnson's out there wheeling and dealing in the smoker's cage. What are the Democrats doing? Why are we still losing everything? Because because the Republicans, while they may be stupid and pea-brained, are coordinated.
Yeah.
And they're willing to sacrifice themselves on the scrap heap that is Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying that Democrats should be doing that, but we need to be doing something. How about getting some younger people into politics? What a radical notion.
I know. Some more AOCs.
And by younger people, I mean people in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's talking about get some 18-year-olds up there because that's unconstitutional. But there's no reason that the average age for both is damn near retirement age.
Yeah.
For both houses of Congress.
I mean, because the House is reelected every 2 years, there should be some like younger folk in there.
Yeah.
Like some 30-somethings, some 40-somethings, people who actually know what the fuck is going on. But because so many of these House seats are safe for whatever party there is currently holding the position, because their districts are so gerrymandered.
Yeah.
People have 30-year congressional careers. They've been in Congress forever. The average re-election rate for a congressman is like 88%. Which
fair.
means there's only like a 12% turnover every year, every 2 years. But most of these people, they don't have to worry about their jobs.
No.
Unless they do something to rock the boat. Like even in Connecticut.
But that's the new thing. Maybe they will get some of that turnaround, that turnaround now, because Elon's gonna just primary everybody who doesn't exactly kiss the ring properly.
Yeah, but like even in Connecticut, like we have 5 House members and 2 senators. One of our senators has been there for a while, and most of our House members have been there for a while. And I think our youngest member, Joanna Hayes, she got in there when Obama was president, and her district is pretty close, so she has to like worry about her job, but no one else in Connecticut does. Like Blumenthal and Murphy and Rosa DeLaura, they don't have to worry about their jobs. Jim Himes doesn't have to worry about his job.
They should. Everybody should be worried, because it is laughable to me that hi Dexter, that the referendum on Biden ended up being mostly about the economy, about personal victim crime, and just kind of stuff that isn't really exactly like in the president's purview, like
Yeah.
inflation. Like
Price
you
of
can't,
food.
yeah, you can't really exactly control those things, but yeah, you're in charge. You gotta own it. Whatever. He was just like, you know what I should do? Nothing. I should
Yeah.
tell everybody that it's fine, and you're stupid for saying that. You're stupid for complaining.
That's because what Biden considers economic good is not what every like regular person considers economic good. Like, yeah, inflation's up, but oh, the jobs report was good. Or oh, the stock market's doing well. Stock market don't benefit me.
No, most people can't afford to invest in the stock market
Right.
because they're poor. You see.
All I know is that JD Vance thought the price of eggs was $5. It was really $4, but
The
that's
sign
still a
was
lot
right
for
behind him,
eggs.
$3.99.
Yeah. And
But that was because of bird flu.
right.
A lot of the birds died. That increases
a
the
lot-
price of eggs.
A lot of the problems is out of his control, but some of the stuff he could have dealt with. Like, he could have dealt with the price of health insurance. He could have dealt with the student loan stuff better. He could have dealt with, inflation better. Well, I mean, inflation, they did what they could, but they could have put controls on like interest rates on credit cards,
Yep.
and they could have done something to help the consumer, like maybe a
Anything?
universal basic income, like anything.
Or if anything, I know they're trying to like fight inflation, but you should have taken the bullet and did one more round of stimmies
Yeah,
because people needed it. Like, it's not like everyone's running around working 3 jobs because they want to buy a fucking Corvette. It's because of bills, dude. The bills are crazy right now. It's too much.
I mean, I know that a lot of regulatory authority got taken away from the executive branch with that Chevron deference ruling.
Yeah.
But while they had it, they could have done more to like regulate banks
Yep.
and regulate, all these businesses that are just stealing money from people. Define the difference between a contractor and an employee a little bit better, so
That would have
that
been nice.
so that Uber can't like take these people's money and not give them anything. Like Uber and DoorDash and Grubhub, those people don't get anything.
Why should they get stuff, Tim? This is
I
my
mean-
company. They're using my app, and they're just using their car to make my money. Why should they have health insurance and rights and time off and
Yeah.
a fair way of compensating wages?
I know more than a few people who do that stuff, and they're stuck in a loop of just working and working and working and not seeing the sort of return that they should see because they got to pay for
Be
everything.
right back.
All right. I guess I'll do it myself. But there's a lot of stuff that Joe Biden could have done to help people out economically that isn't just jobs. Jobs is only part of it. Interest rates is only part of it. The unemployment system is only part of it.
Sorry. The wife's in my car, and sometimes my garage door opener doesn't work.
Oh, I see.
So sometimes you get stuck in the driveway, like, hey, let me in. Hey, let me in. This motherfucker ain't working.
But there's so many things that government can do to help people that it just doesn't do because there's no political will to do it.
And the private sector doesn't care because there's no profit in it.
Right. And, there's one less CEO in the world. But, I mean, I listened to a bunch of stuff on what happened to the United. I actually have United Healthcare now, which is so weird. I listened to a bunch of stuff about it, and the problem is like the news thought the public was going to be on the CEO's side.
Why did they think that?
Because the news is all run by fucking billionaires.
They're so dumb, though.
So the billionaires want people to be on their side.
But we're
but-
not on their side.
Because like originally, like when that incident happened, the coverage was everywhere about like, oh, who did it and all that stuff. And when they caught the guy, you know, there was pictures of him everywhere.
Yeah.
And then at some point they realized that the public was on that guy's side. Whether or not, you know, he did murder a guy, which is bad, but the public was,
he murdered a guy, which is illegal.
which is illegal. That's a good distinction.
That is against the rules to murder people.
The public was not lauded, not having him seem like a hero, but they were like, yeah, okay. What'd you want him to do? Like, we tried everything else.
I unfortunately, and I'm not advocating for whatever, but I don't know that that's the last time, because these, like, people are still hurting, whether or not you want to clamp down on, you can't say this to people on hold when you're at the thing. Oh, okay. So just like piss me off more. Okay.
Yeah.
Just yell at me for being upset that I got screwed over. Okay. Yeah, that'll really calm everybody down. I don't know why. I don't know what we were waiting for. We should just did this.
And I think we talked about it before. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen eventually?
Yeah.
Eventually, people are going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
They've tried everything else. They've tried protesting. You've tried calling your congressman. You've tried trying to deal with the company that's fucking you over. You tried switching companies, and they're still fucking you over. Like, there's only so many things you can do.
And now that Mango Mussolini is back in there, pre-existing conditions is now like not going to be a thing anymore. Like, they're going to go right back to where it was before. Where, oh, what are you, pregnant? Yeah, we can't insure you. You're pregnant.
That's not a pre-existing condition anymore.
Yeah, it's buck wild. But a lot of the people who are voting for Trump, they don't remember that, because they either didn't have health insurance at the time, or, you know what I mean, like they were just kind of like risking it all and like, I'm young, I'll live forever. Yeah, until your freaking back hurts and you need to fucking go get like surgery or therapy or something like that. And then it becomes very important to have a very comprehensive medical plan, where it's not just the small stuff. Like, I need to be able to get physical therapy to get my broken leg fixed. Not just, can I get a cast, but can I get well? Can I get well off of my health insurance? And that's a major distinction that I don't think people are willing to just overlook anymore. Like, I know I technically have health insurance, but dude, you're not helping me.
Yeah, no, health insurance. The only reason the health insurance even kind of helps you is because of the ACA.
Right.
Like, the only reason that you do get free preventative care is because of otherwise you'd have to pay for that too.
Yep.
And the guy who did the unlawful thing at the CEO, that guy is rich too.
Yep. He
is so rich, but he thought his only recourse was to do the thing that he did.
Right.
He has enough money to influence people. And he was like, this is the only thing I can do. Like, what does that say?
Well, the rich people are just like, this is the only way I can get my fucking point across, is fucking grabbing a gun.
He's not poor like one of us. He's not like, oh man, the insurance company screwed me over and now I can't work or whatever. He has money. He doesn't need to work. He can do whatever he wants. But he thought his only recourse was to do what he did. And once again, not advocating to do illegal things, but
it is against the law to murder people. Right. Every day.
Every day, all the time, probably, unless you're Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said, right?
But it's crazy to think that, like, the rich are eating the rich now. Like, is that what's going on here? Is health insurance that toxic of a thing?
It's the sick, like the desperate. We were watching on Unbox Politics. You guys should check out that show every Thursday night at some time. We talked about
late at night,
in the evenings.
In the evening,
the late evenings. but what was I talking about now? Unbox politics we talked about. Oh, Jordan Peterson. And how they had like this cultural view about how people are act a certain way because half of it's biological and they're just not smart and da 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 da. But he is now talking to a group of people who just clapped for a CEO getting snuffed. So even him is off base on this because people really don't get it. If you are broke, getting sick is like the worst thing that you could possibly imagine.
Oh yeah.
Like not even sick to the point where like you're gonna die, but getting sick like I said, like if you break a femur, something where you're gonna be out of work for like a month. That is everyone in America's worst friggin' fear. Not the pain, not the surgery, not the recovery time. What the hell am I gonna do to keep my house? Where am I gonna live if I get sick?
Yeah.
And these are rich people who are worried, like, I might lose my friggin' house over health insurance. This is crazy. Because them bills will get into the 6 figures, 7 figures pretty quick. A month in a hospital in an ICU is almost $1 million.
Yeah, and even like going to like the urgent care or whatever, like the local, not quite an ER, but it's one step below going to a hospital, and they usually just send you to the hospital if you're sick anyway.
Right.
Like even going there costs money.
Yeah.
And
they'll treat you, but then they'll bill you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll bill you. But our healthcare system is so much centered. You were talking about before. It's so much centered around, well, you're sick now, so we'll make you better, instead of let's keep you healthy.
Right. Health care.
Yeah.
Caring for the health.
It's like a lot of American healthcare now is just like triage.
Yeah.
Like those urgent cares, that's triage. That's like you're going there, there's something wrong with you, you don't know what it is. And they're like, well, okay, here's a medicine, or you got to go to the hospital. Like that's really all they can do.
And no knock to nurses or anything like that, but in most of those clinics and stuff like that, and then even some of the urgent care, there's no doctors. You have registered nurses.
Yeah, and there's like registered nurses,
And the one right above that, I can't think of the name of it.
I know I have a few friends who are like radiologists, and they do like that stuff too. Like you don't get like doctor, but you get like the step below that. You get someone who's been to medical school in a way, and they're just the attending physician or whatever.
Here's that thing from Robert Reich I couldn't remember earlier. The combined net worth of America's 12 wealthiest people passed $2 trillion last year. 12 people, $2 trillion. Meanwhile, U.S. homelessness increased 18% in 2024. Our problem isn't an issue of resources. Our problem is an ever-expanding wealth inequality.
Yeah, and at some point, people are going to get sick of it.
I mean, that's 12 people. I'm not saying everybody go Luigi out here, but look, those 12 people will eventually find a way to help out the homeless people and the hungry people, or they're going to come for them. They have nothing else to eat. They're not going to eat themselves. Or could we eat ourselves?
Yes. We resort to cannibalism first.
Kira, come here. I made you, and now you go back.
They were right. They were right about liberals.
They're right about atheists. We eat babies. We cook them. We cook them first.
Well, I mean, so I've seen some graphs. I don't know how accurate they are, but like wealth inequality in the era of like the French Revolution versus wealth inequality now.
It's worse now.
Yeah.
It's worse than the French Revolution in this bitch. And they guillotined all those people, didn't they?
Yeah.
See, and we're not even saying guillotine. We're just saying pay your fucking taxes, dude. We don't want to guillotine. Just pay. You have to pay. You have to pay.
I saw a comedian who said that the only difference between the French Revolution and now is back in the times of the French Revolution, it took like a Seinfeld episode to reload your gun. So, you know, that's people, once again, not advocating for armed rebellion, because that's illegal.
Well,
I mean, it involves a lot of illegal activities.
Yeah.
So,
don't worry, Trump will clear you of all the charges like he did on January 6th.
yeah, right. But the government and the private sector have to respond in a positive way for people. Otherwise, it's just not going to get any better.
Yeah. And I think the Democrats, whenever they had power, sat on their hands and filled their pockets and
That's what
filled their
Democrats
purses.
do best. That's what Democrats do best. I'm so close to changing my registration
To independent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
the Democratic Party is it's just a nightmare now. It's just a nightmare.
there are. We watched last night on Unbox Politics a conversation between Bernie Sanders and AOC
It was beautiful.
about how the Progressive Caucus has grown over the time that Bernie Sanders has been in Congress, and there simply aren't enough of them
Yeah.
to counter the center-right Democratic Party that currently exists. Joe Biden's one of them.
I mean, the crime bill, I don't know if everybody else forgot about it, but that is the number one reason why I hated Hillary. Biden was the main dude up there fucking championing up there with her.
I don't know. If anyone hasn't seen the speech that he gave in favor of the crime bill, boy, it's a doozy.
Should we watch it real quick?
He had hair then.
Should we watch it real quick? And then I'm going to go
Yeah.
kiss my girls. Biden crime bill speech. There you go.
But yeah, they're just, the Democratic Party is simply not progressive enough.
So
They're not.
8 years ago, real quick, 8 years ago, there's a clip from CNBC. He's not ashamed of the 94 crime bill. Go ahead.
I see. Yeah, Dead City's right. Kamala is just a conservative. They're all. You want to know where the conservatives are? They're not in the Republican
They're
Party.
the Democrats.
They're in the Democratic Party.
That
I can
makes a lot of sense, actually.
on one hand, I can name the liberals, the progressives in the Democratic Party that I personally like. And there's not many. It's not enough to keep me in the party.
Porter.
Yeah,
Crockett.
AOC,
Cortez. Yeah.
Bernie.
Bernie. What's my girl with the plan? Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, Elizabeth Warren. Yep, Elizabeth Warren.
Like, Elizabeth Warren is so great. I just really wish she didn't have librarian vibes.
Yeah.
I wish she would just like do a short haircut or an updo, like wear some bright colors and like get in people's faces and like, you know, she's just a little too substitute teacher.
Yeah, well, that's because she's a college professor. Like that
Ah,
was
that
her
makes
job
sense.
for so long. So she's got like that professor vibe.
Yeah,
where
she does.
Elizabeth Warren has a lot of good ideas.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that like she just doesn't have the, I guess, personal charisma to back it up.
That is the problem. Let's go. Let's get Joseph Robinsegg Biden.
Where victims are outraged, I believe we're going to begin to turn the tide, and I believe this bill is going to be an important.
And just for context for everybody watching, or something to keep in mind while you're watching this, and this is from November 18th, 1993. I was a wee pup of 6.
I was 7.
I was just, you know, first grade. I think I was in my Power Rangers phase. So little St. Louis, black, Power Ranger loving, Ninja Turtle loving, pizza loving, Discovery Zone loving, me. And this is what they had to say about me and boys like me.
Important part of it. I yield the floor.
Senator's time has expired. Senator from Delaware.
Madam President, I yield myself 3 minutes. Madam President, it's been a real
Wow, you can actually understand what he's saying because this is 50 years ago.
pleasure to work with my friend from Texas. We most times are on opposite sides of issues. This time we're on the same side, but it is. I realize in this business it's difficult for us to, notwithstanding the fact we're personally cooperating on this bill, for us to dismiss the prospect of some partisanship.
Now think of the person who you just saw in that debate last year. And they thought that would win. Oh, listen, Jack, here's the deal. Hey.
Let me set the record straight.
Let me
on
set it
this
straight,
bill. The underlying
Jack.
bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America, who between the time he
Thrown
got
Clinton under
elected
the
in
bus.
November until the time he was sworn in, called me at my home on 6 separate occasions.
Is Monica over there?
He unfortunately has
I'm best friends with Bill
doesn't need a
Clinton.
lot
Look
of
at me,
sleep.
I'm Joe Biden.
Sometimes, literally, and I say this on the record.
I heard Bill Clinton's not doing so hot.
Oh yeah.
Too bad. I also heard Nancy Pelosi fell down some stairs. Too bad. Don't be so old.
As late as 11:30 at night to discuss why I wasn't moving quicker on the Biden crime bill from before. I sat with him, not with his Attorney General. He wanted 100,000 policemen. He does not view this as a social issue as opposed to trying to bring peace and security to the streets. As governor of the state of Arkansas, he presided over, as governor, the execution of individuals within the state and the death penalty. He supports the death penalty. He is the fellow who insisted that I bump this up from initially to when I said, where are we going to get the money? He said, well, all I know is I want 100,000 cops. I made that commitment. He had endorsed.
All I know is I want 100,000 cops.
All I know is I want police. I don't care how I get them.
Look, turn the water off in Flint. I need cops.
The Biden crime bill as a candidate when he ran. He is the one who talks about the need for stiffer penalties. So notwithstanding the fact some of the old Democrats and former presidents who were Democrats before Carter, I suspect, I don't know who we're talking about here.
Like, I can't even, like, put it together that it's Biden talking, like, when I look away.
Yeah, right.
Like, I keep having to look back at the screen, like, who the fuck is... Oh.
It's two different guys.
Two different dudes.
But in the old days, it is true. When Richard Nixon was running for president, Richard Nixon used to talk about law and order, and the Democratic response was law and order with justice, whatever either one of those meant. I never knew. I was running then in 1972. I didn't think Richard Nixon knew what it meant, and I didn't think the opposition knew what it meant. This president is very, very straightforward.
He's a Nixon-era Democrat.
Yeah, right? Jesus Christ. I don't know what they were talking about. I was just running then. God.
There are 2 basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands there's a need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are nonviolent offenders, or who are potential time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who, in fact...
Switch microphones. Let me change the audio. Hold on.
Are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system.
And we're back.
So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended, once and for all, this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats...
Bruh, you're the hangover from the 60s.
Yeah, right?
You're the hangover from the 60s that we just couldn't get rid of. Where's the dog? Oh.
Are weak on crime, and Democratic presidents are weak on crime, and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since
Air horn one time for Sweet.
1976 that's come out of this Congress. Every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
See, I told
you. So
you.
one of the things I want to do in addition to end the crime is end the political carnage that goes on when we talk about crime. Crime is not Democrat or Republican. Making the streets safe is not a Democratic or Republican issue. this is one of those issues I hope this passage of this bill will be taken out of the gridlock category and moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is, A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter.
What'd I miss?
He said we got to take back the streets, bro.
He needs to take back the street. Look at him. He looks like a robin's egg. That's why they named him Joseph Robin's Egg Biden.
He said he's almost done.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. 7 minutes left on the video. We'll be the judge of that.
Son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not
Kicking
they were
bleep
deprived as a
motherfroggers.
youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife,
Who's they?
take on my son.
Yeah, who's they?
So I don't want to ask
Criminals.
what made them do this.
I
They
don't care.
must be taken off the street.
And put in jail.
That's number one. There's a consensus on that. The Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic president of the United States of America, the Democratic attorney general, the Republican leader of this effort, Senator Hatch, the Republican senator from Texas. We all agree on that.
And y'all are wondering why Kamala went to the right.
Yeah, right.
This is the institutional Democrats. They're just conservative Republicans who were okay with gay people, and that makes them radical leftists. These are not our people. Most of us neurodivergent, atheist, anime-loving nerds are far left progressives. And our politics should reflect that. It really, really should. Anything to add?
I mean, this just goes to show. He was talking about going all the way back to like 1976. This is how Democrats have acted on crime, and it just, yeah, you're right. It just goes to show that the Democratic Party has never been, at least this incarnation of the Democratic Party has not been progressive. And if you go back even farther, Democratic Party was not progressive at all. In fact, they were the conservative party.
Yes.
They
Conservative
only,
liberals are a real thing.
yeah. Like going back as far as like, I don't know, the original New Deal,
Yeah.
and pre-World War II, like the Democrats were the segregationists.
Yep.
The
Separate but equal.
Republicans were the liberals. And then there was a party realignment, and now the Democrats are the quote liberals, if you want to call them that, and they're not. And the Republicans, they're not even conservative anymore.
No.
They're so far into fascism, they don't even know what they're doing.
I don't remember there being a time where like Bush was worried about like having a speaker. Reagan was
No.
worried about having a speaker. You know, like it just didn't happen.
When that happened to Speaker McCarthy, it had been the first time that happened in 100 years.
Joe Biden was there.
Joe Biden was there.
He was there that day that the votes
But-
came in.
His speech is completely contradictory to how crime should be handled. He's talking about it doesn't matter what your societal problems are. We're just going to fucking put you in jail if you do crime.
And that
We're
way,
not gonna-
we don't have to deal with you anymore.
We're not gonna solve the problem. We're just gonna fucking band-aid it and put as many people in prison as we can.
Look, I know you guys are struggling out there. That's the point. Now, if you break the rules, we're going to put you in jail.
And Sweet is right. Democrats were conservative pre-Eisenhower.
Correct.
Now, we can find some fringe folks in the study groups on the right wing and left wing, libertarians and left-wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. But politically, that consensus has been arrived at. I acknowledge there was not that consensus in the 60s. there is today. There's a second thing that we all have agreed upon. And that is, unless we...
Remember all those cops just beating the shit out of black dudes in the 60s? Remember when they went to trial for billy clubbing teenagers for no fucking reason?
I don't know what was going on in the 60s. Was there some sort of civil rights movement happening?
And then the 60s, a great time when 2 thought leaders were shot dead by the American government.
Right.
Oh, and the Black Panthers.
Do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure.
Now, who did we hear last night that said
Oh
the
my
same
God.
fucking
Oh my
thing?
God.
I fucking told you, dude. Racists. They're just racists.
Oh my God.
The same fucking shit came out of fucking
Jordan
Peterson's mouth last night when we covered him on Unboxed. Last night he said the same fucking thing.
Yep.
And that is, unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents,
Because their dad's in jail, asshole.
Yeah, because you're fucking putting everyone in prison.
They'd be married if you didn't lock up half the fucking marriage.
without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing.
There you go.
Because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity.
All right, what fucking Joe Biden? So he is literally saying we're not going to fund the social programs that we need to fund and the education programs that we need to fund to give these people an actual place in society. Instead, we're just going to put them in prison.
What's the problem?
And the liberals who don't like that, go kick rocks.
Yeah. Too bad. Too bad, so sad, he says.
Humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. That society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society.
Yes, you did. When you literally bankrupt entire neighborhoods, when you remove the schools and all the funding for the schools and all the after-school stuff, when there's nowhere for their parents to work, there's nowhere to get good, clean, healthy food, there's no public transit. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Man. I've not heard this speech in its entirety, and it is entirely frustrating to hear Joe Biden, who is apparently the most liberal president that we've fucking ever had, to say, fuck liberals.
Yes.
Fuck the poor.
Yes.
We're going to put you in prison, and we're going to maximize that sentence. And all the young people who don't have parents are future criminals.
Yes. I'm glad you understand. Sweet in the chat says liberals are mostly fine with imprisonment as a method to control the population. They just want the prisons to be state-run rather than privatized. About the only difference.
That's pretty true.
This is why so many people in my age range hate liberals and conservatives. Yes. Yes.
To protect my family and your streets. That society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society.
Did he just confess that, yes, we created that? Let me run that back again. Hold on.
In part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them.
Yeah, because we created them.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're
beyond the pale. And it's a
pale, huh?
Sad commentary on society.
Speaking of pale, you look like 3 sheets of paper behind you.
Society.
Is he saying these people are fucking lost causes, so just put them in prison? Is that what he's
You
saying?
gotta just lock them up, Tim. They're no good. It's just a bad bunch. They're just rotten. You gotta lock them up.
We just need to support the prison industrial complex. That's all.
Who may or may not have given him money.
No
Yeah, right.
choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's
Yes, you
the
do.
sad truth.
Yes, you do.
You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You know what the basic premise of the Sentencing Commission is? I know the presiding officer knows. It was the first time in 80 years we rejected the notion that the condition of sentencing must be related to how long it would take to rehabilitate.
Oh my
I'm the
God.
guy that said rehabilitation,
Biden
when
did
it
that?
occurs, we don't understand it, notice it, and when we even... It was the first time in 80 years we rejected the notion that the condition of sentencing must be related to how long it would take to rehabilitate. I'm the guy that said rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it, notice it, and when we notice it and we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation a condition for release. That's why in our system, there's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. I remember when it was going on, when I was making these arguments in the late 70s, they used to call it Biden's same time for the same crime provision. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a...
I think he's talking about mandatory minimums.
Yeah, but he's saying that because for some reason the federal government doesn't know how to rehabilitate criminals, that we're just going to make them serve the maximum time we can. This is 1993. It's not the 1940s.
And at the same time, in 93, what, 2 blunts worth of weed? Oh, that's 10 years. That's distribution.
Well, we can't
Don't have no
rehabilitate
crack.
those people.
Yeah, don't have no crack on you. Oh, no. What do you have, 2 crack rocks? Oh, that's 15 years. Oh, was that a pound of powder cocaine? 6 months probation.
This is Joe Biden saying that a punitive criminal system is way better than a rehabilitative criminal system.
Yeah.
Because a few people, are recidivized. It's insane. It's the complete opposite logic that is happening in some states' prison systems now.
Look, this is 1993. Joe Biden just got done not doing anything about the crack epidemic. He's been very worried about it. And now that the crack epidemic is over, let's get all these junkies in jail. We can't have them just running around loose. We got to put them in jail.
For some reason, there's 2 things that politicians can never solve. And I know the reason.
A Rubik's Cube is one.
A Rubik's Cube. No, it's the drug problem
Yeah.
and the prison problem. They seem to be not able to fix those things, no matter how many times they say, we're gonna fix the opioid epidemic. We're gonna fix the crack problem. We're gonna fix the fentanyl. We're gonna fix all these things. They never seem to get around to it, number one. And number 2, their solution is to put those people in prison.
Well, if they could stop the
and
MAGA
fuck 'em.
people, if they could stop the MAGA people from going to fucking Mexico and coming back with their fucking minivan loaded up with fentanyl, bringing that shit over the border, dropping it off to whoever the fuck they're dropping it off to, like that's how the shit's getting in. If y'all didn't know, 97 or 93% of the fentanyl that comes into this country is from Americans. Americans are paid by the cartel to bring it over the border for them. The cartel's not sending these asylum seekers who literally have the T-shirt that they, that like they're wearing their clothes that they have on, and then like a couple of bottles of water, and that's all they have to their name. They're not the ones bringing drugs. It's the white people who go to Cabo, and then they drive down, or they drive to Tijuana, and then they drive back home to San Antonio, and then somebody comes by and picks up a thing that they don't know what it is, and then a check shows up in the mail. Like it's drugs. They're doing drug deals. They're drug dealing.
The crazy thing is this
they don't use black people because we get pulled over all the time. It's no good giving us drugs. They just find it right away.
This goes all the way back to like the founding of America and the original colonies, and how those colonies were like Puritan conclaves, and their sense of justice was justice. They want retribution instead of trying to fix the problem. Well, that's all America ever wants is retribution.
Well, Tim, when my daughter has her first period, I will be burning her at the stake as a witch. Because there's no way my daughter.
We have We have more citizens per capita in prison than China does.
China is known for its freedoms.
Oh, yes.
And
And what a free and wonderful country China is. They certainly don't have prison camps at all.
Well, they're not the only ones. Coming soon.
Consensus, and I will cease. A, we must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist, and we must deal with that. And I think there's a consensus among Republicans in that.
Jail them.
Old barbed wire Republican conservatives just want to hang them high. Even those folks are saying, hey, we got to deal with the root cause of this. Not
even they're on my side.
What is the root? He's not saying what the root cause is. He's not.
The root cause is that they're going to jail, Tim.
No, that's their solution.
The solution and the root cause is that they're going to jail, Tim. That's the only answer I got for you, Tim, is they're going to jail, Tim.
That has become the problem, is that you got so many people going in and out of jail that it's become a problem. But
No, it's not a problem. Why would you say it's a problem?
it's not. He's not fixing anything.
You think it's a problem?
They're not fixing anything.
You think we're jailing too many people? But I mean, I really need my white dudes and white girls to get ahead in all these different career paths to set up generational wealth.
He's really obsessed with someone coming after his mom for some reason.
Man, I wish his mom was in front of me. I'd slap the shit out of her right now. I grab one tortilla out of the kitchen and, girl, you ever come around? Oh, I just hit the wall behind me. Playing on. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. Playing on.
It's not one or the other, but separately. And liberal Democrats who...
Nah, fuck that. His mom was fine. She's probably dead anyway. I'm going to slap the shit out of Joe. Joseph Robinzegg Biden. I will slap the shit out. No, fuck the tortilla. Open hand. 5 fingers set to the face, Charlie Murphy style. Because what he's talking about, the people who he's talking about, this is 1993, I'm 6. So he's talking about the guys who were in high school.
Yeah.
When I was little. So like the people my sisters were friends with. That's who he's talking about. That's who needs to go to jail for having drugs. That's who needs to go to jail for stealing something out of a store. Because he's talking about the criminal, they're beating people over the head with lead pipes, they're eating cats and dogs. Sound familiar?
Right, yeah.
It's the same shit, dude. It's the same shit. It's just racism. You can sprinkle whatever you want to sprinkle on there, but it's just racism. Because he didn't say shit about the white dudes who have been beating the shit out of their wives because they're cops and no one can go after them. Or how about the military husbands who have the worst domestic abuse records between them and cops? They are the worst domestic abusers of any people in this country. Not black men, cops. So when are we going to address that? When are we going to protect women and defund the police? Because if they were broke, they wouldn't be able to beat up women. I don't know. But again, super predators. Right. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
We used to say, let's look at the sociological underpinnings of why this occurred, and we have to. They're now saying, hey, look, we got to take back the streets. We'll make that fight later. So there is a consensus. I hope the remainder of the discussion, as we close out the debate in this bill, we can end that old fight. We can put it behind us.
With a smile on his face.
We have. The senator from West Virginia said this is a historic moment on this bill, a consensus being reached. I think it is, but I think it's a historic moment for a political reason as well. Hopefully, we will end the discussion about whether or not
blacks are people. I'm sorry.
Republicans are Neanderthal and only want to hang them high, and Democrats are wacko liberals and only want to look at the causes. Those days are gone. Evidence of that, the Democratic senator from Delaware and the Republican conservative senator from Utah are united in a Biden-Hatch crime bill
Get in the
that
catapult,
does
Joe.
all the things that I just said. So as one of my relatives who remain nameless would say, God willing, and the creek not rising, hopefully we'll end this kind of debate and decide how.
So
That
you
was
can
Hunter
bring.
that said that.
Hunter definitely said that shit whilst doing a line off of his Desert Eagle.
how we're going to deal with the problem from here on. I reserve the balance of my time.
Well, there you go, folks.
Boy, that was a whole thing, man.
Told
He said some shit.
I told you he wasn't shit, and then didn't, and he was just a placeholder, so we didn't get Trump. Don't nobody like him. Don't nobody like him.
God.
Don't no black people like him. Because, dude, we think we just forgot? We just forgot you said that?
That was some wild stuff, man.
That's hate.
1993 was
He's a hater.
a different time.
He's just a hater. Which is fine. He's allowed to be a hater. But then don't act like you're on our side. Look, I grabbed Kamala Harris. Oh, the top cop from California. Yeah, of course you did. Because you love fucking cops. You said, I want 100,000 cops. I want 100,000 cops. Like, yeah, of course you picked Kamala Harris. She's like the biggest cop you could find.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Boy. Yeah, that's about all I can take.
Well, it's almost time for us to go join. Well, I'm going to go join our friends across the pond.
Oh yeah, and Graham's show.
Yeah,
I might-
Politics Social is coming up soon here.
What time does that happen?
I will look on my phone and see. Let me ask
Okay.
him. Oh, he
Does,
already sent the link.
Oh, we already sent the link.
So
All
we're
right.
probably late.
Okay. I
Um,
may join. I have to do a few things first, but I may join.
Yeah. I'm going to go kiss the girls. Well, I think the baby's sleeping, but my wife is awake. So she's getting kissed. And then I'll
And then eaten, right?
eat
Eat, yes. Eat her.
the baby.
Well, yeah, the baby. Obviously, because you're a progressive, you want to eat the baby first. But also, don't forget to eat your wife.
I won't say it because I love her, but she said something very, very inappropriate.
Oh, I don't mean it in an inappropriate way. I mean it in a cannibalism kind of way.
Well.
Tell your wife I said hi.
Say hi, Mrs. Feynman. She gave you the finger, Tim. I don't know what that's about. She's probably racist.
Wow.
Chicken
Wait.
bleep mother froggers.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to go hang out with the Politics Social people. You might see Tim there with me.
Yeah, might be there.
So, yeah. We have a speaker. Unfortunately, it's still Mike Johnson. So, drink some water today. Text somebody you haven't texted in a long time. And stay out of my pantry. Bye.